Welcome everyone, this is Acid Roots. I've got a mixtape review in the form of Freebasing with Kevin Bacon by Jarren Benton. Now, props to the fact that this is actually a pretty clever title, and he is referencing Kevin Bacon, the actor, and really I think he had another one which had something to do with maybe Hasselhoff, I believe. And Jarren Benton was on Hopsin's label around the time when this mixtape came out in 2012. Now, really, before we get to the history and the backdrop of this, I want to say that this could probably stand to be released in a retail edition and be just fine. Now, I think you can get it digitally, but it's without the song Schizo, so that's about the only thing missing. On the mixtape version that you'll find, you get Schizo, which was actually one of the songs that was possibly had to do with him getting signed to Funk Volume. So it's good stuff there. And Hopsin is not on this release, but Dizzy Wright is, and there's some other cats who are on here like Ritz, and it has some good moments. So yeah, this was Jarren Benton's debut project on Funk Volume. He got signed there in early 2012 and basically released this for the summer, and it came out and made some noise and tided us over until My Grandma's Basement, which came out next year. Now, actually, the strange part about My Grandma's Basement is I'm trying to get that off of Amazon, and the whole thing is they're trying to sell that for $55. So I can't figure out why it's so expensive. The library will not order it either, so it's kind of a tougher little album to get. But, you know, I'm really trying to get a hold of that. The Hopsin type stuff is a little bit more expensive, I've noticed. But whole thing is it is, you know, this is 2 for 2 basically. From what I recall from My Grandma's Basement, that was actually a pretty good album. But I'm going to say that this is a really good mixtape for what it is. There's 14 songs, and about 8 of them are songs that are worthwhile. Depending upon your mood, you might actually find more than that. So this is something to pay attention to. Even without Hopsin and Swizz on their other Funk Volume label mates, he does handle this by himself, and it's easily seen. So as far as promotion and singles, I'm beginning to notice I've got a string of mixtapes that are going to be coming up on my channel soon. And what I'm starting to notice is usually a mixtape is carried by one big single, something to that effect. And, you know, obviously it's free, so you kind of wonder how far you have to promote it. But I think the Schizo song was one of the most popular on here, but obviously it's not the best song. So besides that, you know, I'm going to list now the 8 songs out of 14, because a couple of these are skits and phone calls and that sort of thing. So here are the 8 songs: Billion Bucks, Half Ounce Quarter Pound, Move Back, Lean, Turbo Ozone, Schizo, Problem. The almost song, which means I'm on the fence about it, is GED. So I'm going to talk about a few of these just to show some of the immediate highlights and the ones that you probably need to go to quicker than others. Billion Bucks has one of the best beats on here. I feel like Lean is another one. Some of these are dedicated to just a night out, and the fact that this is a mixtape doing this sort of thing is stupendous. All of these beats are original. They sound a lot better than the occasional album you might hear by a rapper, and it's free. So, you know, just amongst all these things, it basically, once again, it probably should be an album. But a few others are, you know, Schizo kind of sounds warped. I think Problem is the same scenario. Half Ounce Quarter Pound I mean, a lot of these are pumped. They're pulsating. And so yeah, that's the main thing about some of these, is the fact that they carry so much energy. And the idea behind it is, I think you'll probably wind up liking Jarren Benton. So this mixtape I'm going to give, because 8 out of 14, I'm going to give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Really, just a few more songs like the ones we heard. I mean, for a mixtape, it does extremely well. I mean, considering that this was one of his first projects underneath a record label, you know, for what it is, it works pretty well. I think Hopsin, you know, I always say this when I review label mates, but it kind of feels strange that Hopsin is not on this project, and neither is Swizz. You know, both these guys could have trimmed a couple songs and put one of their songs on there. Probably could have used another single or two, and maybe just, if we couldn't get more singles, just music videos, just something to get the visibility. When I listen to mixtapes and projects, I like to see things that show off the creativity of the project, and I don't really like using my imagination. So I'd prefer to see what the artist had in mind versus me having to do it myself. So the more music videos and the more effort put into a project, the better. And so those are minor complaints, but you know, still, this is a free thing, so you know, it is pretty good. So obviously My Grandma's Basement might be a trickier number to get, which is really the only other complaint. And the Social Score, I will give like a 4 out of 10, just because of the one single. No Hopsin. Could have used another couple cats like Ritz. I'm sure Yellow Wolf would have been, he would have given this a feature an okay. Probably could have gotten like a couple more cats. I mean, Gangsta Boo is on here. I forgot about that. From 3-6 Mafia. But, you know, we just need a few more well-known names. So, yes, I give this album, well, the future. I think Jarren Benton released a project back in July or something. And can this record be topped? I think the answer is for a free project, probably not. But in terms of album qualifications, I'd probably say, yeah, it could be topped a bit.